Burnout is everywhere. Quitting is normalized, and motivation feels harder to hold on to than ever. Today, we're asking whether that's a personal problem or if we're being conditioned to give up. If you felt worn down, checked out, or stuck in survival mode, then this episode's for you. So welcome to The Wit Show, where smart meets stupid and somehow makes sense. My name's Georgie, and I'm thinking out loud so you don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Wit Show, from what I think seriously to you.
WITS, The Wit Show.
Cool story, bro.
Welcome back to The Wit Show. Are we depressed or just alive?
Why are those the only options, dude? That kind of feels like propaganda.
Because that's how it is. I tried to relax, and everything costs money.
Well, maybe you relaxed wrong, dude. Did you try laying down without guilt?
Dude, I slept 8 hours, and then I woke up exhausted.
Congratulations, dude. Your brain runs on Windows 98.
Society says, stay positive. Cool. I'll accept reality and pay rent.
Thrilling mindset. Do you season your despair or eat it dry?
People quit because they're weak.
No, they quit because the tutorial never ends.
Tired people don't build.
You're right, dude. They scroll, which feels like building lies.
Is this episode 27?
Yeah, dude. Episode 27 now. We're still here, against all logic.
That's because we're committed.
The only thing that should be committed, dude, is you. This feels like a science experiment.
Wow, dude. Great attitude. Did you have your morning coffee?
Right here, dude.
Please don't ever do that again. That was disgusting. Welcome to The Wit Show, where...
Wait, dude, are we not doing a sponsor ad today?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want to?
I guess, dude, but who's the sponsor?
Well, I mean, we are still partnered with Dubby. We could do the whole, you get 30% off your order if you use code THEWITSHOW at checkout, or, whatever.
Nah. Let's just make up a fake company and pretend that they're sponsoring us. It'll be so much funnier, dude.
What? No, dude, I don't think we can do that.
Who cares, dude? It'll be funny as hell, and the audience might love the fake company.
Yeah, until they like what we're selling, and then they try to go and get it and buy it, and then find out it's not real, and then they sue us.
You can't sue something that doesn't exist, dude.
I don't know, dude. Sounds like it might cause problems in the future.
No way, dude. Watch. Today's episode is brought to you by Quitlist, the company that fixes burnout, motivation, confidence, finances, and your entire personality in under 5 minutes or your money back. Which doesn't matter because money isn't real. One dose of Quitlist and you'll finish unfinished goals, answer ignored emails, apply for jobs you don't deserve, feel productive while doing nothing, and text your ex, "I'm thriving," automatically. Use promo code WITS and Quitlist will pay your rent, gaslight your landlord, spiritually repair your credit, and give you the confidence of someone who's never faced consequences. Side effects include starting a podcast, launching 3 businesses at 2 a.m., saying, "I'll sleep when I'm dead," and believing overnight success is normal. Quitlist is not FDA approved, not legally recognized, and not responsible for anything you do while pretending everything's fine. Quitlist, because quitting is hard, but disassociating is fast.
Wow, dude. Just, wow. Jarvis, just do the thing so we can start the episode and hopefully we don't get sued by, I don't know, this just feels illegal.
Quit less, don't you quit today. Burned out brain, but you're feeling okay. Bills still due, but your home's still lit. Life's a mess, nah, forget it. Quit less. Quit less. Quit less.
Oh my God, we're probably going to get sued for that. I don't know. Welcome back to The Wit Show. My name's Georgie, and I'm always thinking out loud so you don't have to. All right. I almost didn't record this episode, not because I ran out of ideas, but because I caught myself asking a dangerous question. But before I get into all of that, I just wanted to thank you for always viewing my show, and it really does mean a lot to me. So make sure that you comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. Depending on where you're listening from, make sure you hit that like button. All of that stuff really does help out the show. Make sure you pop over to our Facebook page too and get involved. We're posting all kinds of crazy stuff there all the time. So, with that being said, are we being programmed to quit? That's the question. Because quitting is starting to feel like the new normal. And I don't think that is an accident. Today I want to talk about why so many people give up on the things they care about and why the system seems to be perfectly fine with that. Most podcasts don't make it past episode 10. People start loud and then they disappear quietly. Nobody announces that they're quitting, they just stop. Quitting used to be embarrassing, now it's expected. We're living in a world built in instant reward, where likes equal validation and silence feels like failure, even when you're doing everything right. Algorithms don't reward beginners, they reward momentum, and momentum only comes from consistency, which creates a trap that burns people out fast. And here's the part that gets uncomfortable. The system actually benefits when creators stop creating. Tired people don't build, they consume. Burned out people don't change anything. They scroll. We've all been there. We've been in that doom scroll for hours, and it's never productive. I'm on episode 27 now, putting in hours of work for a small audience. And yeah, some days that messes with your head. But I'm not failing. I'm early. Showing up when nobody's watching, posting where there's no applause, building without validation. That's not weakness, that's rebellion. Consistency is rebellion in a system that's designed to exhaust you. And if you're listening to this while thinking about quitting something you care about, hear this clearly. Most people don't lose because they're bad at what they do. They lose because they leave. So maybe we're being programmed to quit. But awareness breaks programming, and if you're listening to this episode, episode 27, of a podcast that refuses to disappear, then you're already unplugging. And the truth is, most people never see the middle part. The quiet grind where nothing is happening on the outside, but everything is happening underneath. They see beginnings, and they see success, but they don't see the long stretches in between where you're building skills, sharpening your voice, learning what works, failing privately, and showing up anyway. And that's basically with everything. You could be becoming a singer and your voice sucks and you're hiding in your room and you're practicing as much as you can. So that moment of glory when you finally sing in front of a public view, they're like, wow, this person is so good. They only see the success. You could be that person that desires to be a chef and you're at home cooking by yourself, working on the perfect recipe, and it just sucks and it sucks and it sucks before you finally succeed and it rocks. And now it's a family recipe that you get to pass down to your family. People are like, wow, this tastes amazing. How did you do it? To you, it's a simple answer. Oh, I just added some oregano, dude. But in reality, it was hours and hours and hours of misery trying to hone your skill. That middle is where doubt lives. That motivation gets tested. And it's where the question, why bother, shows up at the loudest moment. It's also where most people disappear. Not because they weren't capable, but because nobody was clapping yet. And that's the part that nobody warns you about. The work doesn't get easier when it gets unnoticed, it gets heavier. But if you can carry it without applause, if you can keep moving when it feels pointless, you're already doing something most people will never do. You're proving to yourself, and that's the most important thing, to prove it to yourself, that this isn't about attention, it's about commitment. And the people who make it through the middle aren't the most talented or the luckiest. They're the ones who refuse to leave when quitting felt like a logical option. And history backs this up. Whether we talk about it or not, some of the biggest things society benefits from today exist only because someone didn't quit when it would have made sense to. J.K. Rowling was rejected by dozens of publishers and was nearly broke before Harry Potter finally landed, a story that ended up shaping an entire generation's love for reading. You're a winner, Rawlings. That's the finish line that we got to see, but I guarantee you it was a pain in the ass to get there. Steve Jobs was famously fired from Apple, the company he helped create, and could have walked away quietly, but instead came back to build products that changed how the world communicated. And then there's Colonel Sanders, who was in his 60s, broke, and rejected hundreds of times before Kentucky Fried Chicken ever took off. Even podcasting and media aren't exempt. Joe Rogan's show ran for years before it ever became what people now point to as overnight success. None of these people knew they were standing one step away from impact while they were in it. They just kept going because stopping would have meant killing something that hadn't had a chance to grow yet. And because they didn't quit, society gained stories, technology, culture, and ideas that never would have existed otherwise. And I'm not saying any of that to put myself in the same category as these people, but the pattern is impossible to ignore. Every one of these stories had a moment where quitting would have been reasonable, logical, even encouraged. And that's the part I recognize right now. Episode 27, a small audience, a lot of work happening in the dark, no applause, no guarantees, just effort and belief. This is my middle. This is the part nobody claps for and nobody sees. And if I walk away here, the story ends exactly where most stories end, unfinished. So, my commitment to moving forward is simple. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep creating. I'm going to keep putting in the work, whether it's watched, shared, or ignored. Because I didn't start this for instant validation. I started it because I had something to say. And one day, whether it's episode 100 or 500, I want to be able to look back at this moment and know that I didn't quit when it got quiet. I stayed. And I think that's the part that people don't talk about enough. The decision point. The moment where nobody's watching, nobody's cheering, and quitting would make everything quieter and easier. Because walking away doesn't hurt all at once, it just slowly fades into regret. So I'm choosing to stay. In this discomfort, to stay in this work and to stay in this process, even when it's lonely, even when it's frustrating, even when it feels pointless. Not because I know how this ends, but because I know how it ends if I stop now. And from here, maybe the better question isn't why keep going, but what happens to the world when people don't? So let's shift gears for a minute, because this idea doesn't stop at podcasts or creativity. It shows up everywhere, and the places it shows up next might surprise you. The lie that messes with people the most, the idea that overnight success, we're showing highlights, not timelines. We see the viral moment, the big break, if you will, the chart-topping episodes, and we're told, see, it happens fast. What we don't see are the years of obscurity, the failed attempts, the small audience, the nights spent questioning whether it's worth it, and the moments where we're quitting would have been a smart, reasonable choice. Overnight success is most always the result of someone who stayed long enough to finalize the scene parts, not someone who magically arrived fully formed. That's like saying you go to a jiu-jitsu class and just get a black belt by the end of the day. No, you gotta put in the work. You gotta hone your skill. You gotta practice and show up and show out every single time. But when that part gets edited out, it creates a dangerous comparison, because people look at their own slow progress and assume they're behind, broken, or doing something wrong. In reality, they're right on schedule. The problem isn't pace, it's the expectation. We've been trained to believe that if it doesn't happen quickly, it won't happen at all, and that belief alone has killed more good ideas than failure ever could. When you actually look closer, the idea of overnight success falls apart fast. Like with J.K. Rowling's again. Harry Potter didn't explode because it was lucky. It survived years of rejection, poverty, and doubt before anyone paid any attention. Even Van Gogh sold almost none of his paintings while he was alive, yet his work shaped modern art forever. Pixar wasn't an instant hit studio. It lost money for years before Toy Story changed animation. Even in modern media, people love to point to podcasts or creators that blew up, but they ignore the hundreds of episodes that came before anyone cared. Joe Rogan's podcast ran for years with minimal reach before it ever became mainstream. Mr. Beast spent years uploading videos that barely cracked double digits views before he learned what worked. These weren't overnight wins. They were long, invisible investments. And the frustrating part is that if you jump in right before the payoff, it looks sudden from the outside, even though it took everything the person had to get there. The success wasn't fast, it was delayed. Success is always delayed. That's why it takes years to get a black belt. That's why it takes years to get a master's degree. Scientists don't find the cure to diseases just in one night. It takes years of doing this stuff. Practice, 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 and commitment, commitment, commitment. And quitting isn't logical anymore, especially when you really think about it. You can't finish a race if you just give up on it. And that's where I'm at right now. Episode 27, a small but real audience, a lot of unseen work, no viral moments, no big break, just consistency and belief. From the outside, it probably looks like nothing is happening, but from the inside, everything is. Skills are sharpening, systems are getting better, my voice is getting clearer, and the foundation is being laid quietly. And if you're listening to this, I want you to pause for a second and think about where you are right now. Not where you want to be, not where you think you should be, but where you actually are. If it feels slow, if it feels unnoticed, if it feels like you're grinding without proof that it isn't working, that doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're in the part that most people never make it through. Progress doesn't always look like numbers going up. Sometimes it looks like staying when leaving would be easier. And if you still are showing up, you're still trying, you're still building in silence, then you and I are standing in the same place. And that place is closer to the finish line than it feels. And if any part of this hits you, if it sounds like something you're living through right now, do me a favor. Don't buy anything, don't sign up for anything. Just share this episode with one person who needs to hear it. Or send me a message and tell me what you're working on. Not because it helps the algorithm, but because none of us are meant to build in silence. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm going to root you on. I am a huge cheerleader, especially to all of my friends. And if you come into my comment section and you tell me what you're working on and you feel like you've been grinding at this with no applause, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to cheer for you. I'm going to tell you that you're doing a great job and to not give up. I'm big on that. Everybody needs fans. And community absolutely matters. And you never know what that one comment could have done to make that person's life 10 times better, a million times more easier. If a simple acknowledgement can change a person's life, imagine what an entire community of people doing it would make you feel like. And if I'm in the comments section cheering somebody on and you see me cheering that person on, get in there and cheer them on too. Make them feel good about themselves because maybe one day you might need that too. So yeah, if you've ever felt tired, unmotivated, or ready to throw your hands up, congratulations. You're not broken. You're just alive in 2026. But here's the thing. In a world this loud, this chaotic, this ridiculous, choosing to build something like a community always is the borderline rebellion. The one that the system doesn't like. The one that keeps trying to knock you down. Choosing to stay, to create, to keep going when everything around you feels like a joke, that's the real punchline. And that's where I'll leave it. I'm not quitting. I'm not disappearing. And if the world's going to be this absurd, I might as well keep talking about it into a microphone. And if you agree, then join me. Hit up my comment section and become a part of my community, because the bigger that this community gets, the louder I can cheer you on. As always, this is The Witch Show, where smart meets stupid and somehow makes sense. My name's Georgie, and I'm thinking out loud so you don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Witch Show, from what I think seriously to you.
WITS, The Witch Show.
Cool story, bro.
All right. I think that's enough deep thoughts for this episode.
Dude, shut up, Matthew McConaughey.
Whoa. You cannot say that, dude. It's 2026.
What are you talking about, dude? I freaking love gay people. Look at you.
Oh my God, dude. I'm not gay. I'm happy. Okay? And you're annoying.
Whatever you say, dude.
As I was saying, that's enough deep thoughts for the episode.
Yeah, dude. If we keep going, someone's gonna accidentally grow as a person.
We talked about quitting, burnouts, motivation, the system, capitalism, and whatever the hell reality is right now.
Which means it's time to do what we do best.
Ignore all of it with loud music?
Exactly, dude. If you're still listening at this point, you didn't quit.
Yep, and that already puts you ahead of most people.
Yes, sir. So do me a favor. Don't quit. Don't overthink. And don't take life too seriously.
And if everything feels overwhelming,
just blame the fake sponsor.
Dude, please don't interrupt me.
My bad, dude. It was a reflex or something. Won't happen again.
Reflex. Yeah, right. As I was saying, if everything feels overwhelming, just...
Freaking hit
my
it,
God,
Jarvis!
dude.
Woke up tired, didn't do a damn thing. Brain on fire, but my phone won't ring. They say keep going, then disappear. Same old talk, nobody's here. Built this thing with duct tape, hope. Late night dreams and a crack my joke. 20 people, yeah, I see them all. Still screaming loud at a brick wall. They said maybe it's time to slow it down. I said nah, I'll burn the whole thing down. I didn't quit, even when it made no sense. Didn't quit, no applause, no defense. World said stop, I said watch this. Middle of the mess and I still exist. I didn't quit. I didn't quit. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody loves a highlight reel. Nobody wants the way it feels. Quiet grind, no dopamine, just bad ideas and caffeine. Algorithms say you're late. Bills say, man, you gotta wait. But I stayed up, hit record again. Talk to ghosts and imaginary friends. They say, man, what's your backup plan? I